Picks of the Week.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're coming back with our Picks of the Week. So, as always, we're going to choose a game, a movie, a book maybe, a board game that we've been enjoying this last week, and we want to talk to you about it and, you know, give you a recommendation. It doesn't necessarily have to be the best thing in the world, but we have having fun with it, so check it out, basically. So, Nick, I'm going to turn to you as our guest.
Yeah.
What's your pick of the week?
I'm going to double check because you didn't say it. TV shows are good, right? That's
yeah.
fine.
Oh yeah, TV show's fine. Yeah, sorry, apologies.
No.
The whole broad.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have been watching The Boys, which just came out. Season 2 of The Boys. For anybody who doesn't know, it's a superhero style show. And for anybody who's super tired of superheroes, it might still pique your interest because The Boys is like an anti-take on superheroes. For anybody who doesn't know, it's based on a comic where the premise is that superheroes are common and commercialized in this world. So like they're like superstars. They're basically celebrities, and they're also like celebrities, mostly degenerates. So they all do bad things. And they use the power of money, influence, and the fact that they have superpowers to cover up those bad things. And The Boys follows this crew of anti-superhero people who are trying to uncover and bring to light some of the kind of shady stuff that they do. I watched all of season 1. It has, what's his name? I forget his name.
Karl Urban?
I think he's Karl Urban. He's such a good actor, and he does not mind. Like he did Dredd 2012, which is probably one of my favorite comic book adaptation movies.
Very good movie.
Oh, nice. He's got it.
I happened to be watching it today, but I didn't see the full thing. I just put it in because I was busy doing something else. I was like,
okay,
so,
okay, excellent.
In my opinion, that's one of the few remakes that's better than the original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I won't talk too much about Dredd, but very high praise for it. Karl Urban's great in it. Way better than the comics, in my opinion. I finished all season 1, decided to go read the comics. The comics are vulgarity for vulgarity's sake. It's people having sex and like graphic, and everybody's ugly, and isn't that funny? And I think it's just gross. But the season 1 I thought was all right. I was kind of like solid 6 out of 10 when I finished it. I like season 2 way better. The dialogue is much snappier, in my opinion. Pretty much, I'd say 90% of the characters are more likable or more hateable, which is what you want. You want a reaction out of the characters as opposed to just kind of general apathy. I think they're going some of that Guardians of the Galaxy route with using really strong musical choices to underline certain scene tones. So like there's this one episode that really got me hooked on the song Psycho Killer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that one's really good. And they've changed the pacing because the first one they released all season 1 out at once, which was very popular for binging. But I don't know if it's quarantine or if they're experimenting with changing it, but they're releasing episodes weekly. So when this is released, they've only released 7 episodes. So it's easy to binge through, and they actually make it exciting. Like, I'm legitimately looking forward to Friday because I want to see what's going on. And it keeps me engaged in it as opposed to watching it all at once. So,
that's I did read the comics before. I read the comics as they were coming out initially. And then when the show was announced, I was like, holy fuck, how are they going to do most of the plot points in this?
Yeah.
So we don't need to talk about those, but if anyone's curious, definitely look them up because it's more intense than Walking Dead comics versus the show in terms of plot devices that really would not do well no matter how you try to spin it on TV. So I think I do need to check this show out still.
So just Nick, how accurate to the comic book is it? So for someone who maybe read the comic books but hasn't seen the show, is it quite accurate or?
Some of the characters are characters in name only. So, for example, Huey, who's the main character, is an Irish, nobody, kind of loser character. And he's middle-aged and he kind of sucks. in the comics. And like that's the joke, is that, oh, here's this average nobody who sucks and he's gonna go and wreck superheroes, right?
Right.
And they change it obviously to a younger kind of kid. He's American, and he's got most of this
eggs look alike or whatever, or is
yes,
like
yes. Okay. And I think it's like a continuity joke because Simon Pegg is the dad of Huey, and he's based on visually he's based on Simon Pegg in the comics. But he's like this. Yeah, he's the same sort of character, but like updated. You know, he instead of being a loser, you know, middle-aged kid, he's like a kid who. So his idealism and wide-eyed, like I don't understand what's going on. Instead of being like pathetic, it's kind of like endearing.
Okay.
So they do change it, I think, for the better. Like Karl Urban's character of Billy Butcher is pretty much the same. He's a degenerate. He's like a anti-superhero, like vigilante, what have you. And then they change a lot of the superhero characters because it was published by DC, so it's a parody of the Justice League. So Homelander is a parody of Superman, and Black Noir is a parody of Batman. And so they change him up. The Deep, for example, is a main character in the series, but he's like not at all in the comics. And he's a parody of Aquaman.
So,
and he's got his own interesting
Is a comic book a DC comic book, or is it just the show that's published by DC?
It's a comic book published by DC, and it's weird that they parodied
it's quite funny,
something that they made. Yeah.
They embrace DC. Don't try to just be we're Marvel but not Marvel. Do shit like this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this show, but I saw that season 2 had come out, and people have told me at work about how good it is. And I thought, okay, I'll watch the trailer. And I think I was not in the right mood for it because the trailer kind of put me off because it was actually quite violent. And I think I don't mind violence normally, but I felt like. So in the trailer, there's just one bit where this guy is like, they're standing on the side of the road. This guy's kissing his girlfriend, like holding her hands, giving her a nice kiss, like good night from a date. Yep. And suddenly this thing rushes by. She basically explodes, and he's there holding her arms. And like it turns out this like super speedster guys just run through her. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't stop! I'm really sorry." And he carries on running. Yeah. And I was just like, "Whoa, okay, I'm not in the mood to watch this right now." Like I was just like, that's the rest of it seemed really funny though. But that one bit, I was just like, "Yeah, I'm not in the mood for really violent stuff at the moment." So
and it's also so like just as a content warning, the violence is hyper, the sex is hyper. You know, they make full advantage of not being regulated by on-air regulations. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, that sort of thing. They're like super violent, like naked people, you know, getting up to drugs.
I'm on board again now. Let's do this.
Oh, perfect.
No, it does look quite cool. I think I just was in the right mood, and I like the idea of it. So I think I will try and check it out. Maybe not this week, but maybe next week. But I think I will. Sure.
My biggest compliment to it is perfect timing because everyone is Endgame is out, all that's done. Like this is if you weren't getting already worn out with superhero shit, now is the time for something like this. So
awesome. That's a great choice. Great choice. Cool. If it's okay, I'll move on with my choice of the week, so I'm actually carrying on from kind of like the last couple of episodes we've had because for Nick, if you don't know, I kind of made a jokey comment about Sonic Lost World because I was talking about the Mario 3D All-Stars game and how I still enjoyed Mario 64. Back in the day, I didn't like Sunshine, but I've been playing it again and enjoying that. And I used to really like Galaxy, but I started playing it again on the Switch and I just was not enjoying it. And I made a sort of kind of flippant comment / kind of semi-joke about like preferring Lost Worlds to Galaxy, which is Scotty sort of said he didn't think anything of it because I often make just stupid comments like that, and my opinion on games is often quite I don't make stupid comments, but my opinion on games is often quite out there. Like there's often games that I always fly in the face of what people say. It seems, but yeah, people picked up on that. Sonic Shuffle. There you go. For Nick, not for me. I'm not. Anyway, as we discussed earlier.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, just to be clear. Yes, I'm not that crazy. And then, last week we spoke a bit more about this, and I sort of tried to sort of explain my joke, but also said, actually, Lost World I didn't think was a bad game. So, do you know what? I thought this week I'm actually going to sit down and play Lost World. And so this is actually on the purchase I bought this week. I bought it on Steam, because I've got it on the Wii U already. In fact, there's my Wii U copy there. I also own it on the 3DS. So I've got my 3DS copy there. But I bought it on Steam just for ease of play, because I'm often in front of my computer, my desktop or my laptop, and the Steam's got the cloud save, so I can play on both things and it just carries on. And also my Wii U's like packs away, so I can't really bother to pull that out. So I picked it up and started playing it, and it turns out I've never fully played this game. I basically completed the 3DS version, but I hadn't finished the Wii U version. I think I played the first level on the Wii U version and just stopped playing for some reason, and I don't know why, because I'm really enjoying this game. So my pick of the week is Sonic Lost World on Steam or Wii U. Unironically, there you go. So so I picked up the game, I started playing it, and so things about it, I'm just really enjoying it so far. I think visually it looks really good. I think it's actually one of my favourite looking Sonic games. I love there's like a weird texture to some of the levels and stuff, like the grass and stuff, which I think looks really good. I think the music in it is actually very solid. I'm not going to say it's the best Sonic music out there, because I think Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, they've got amazing music that would just last for generations, and it kind of already has. There's some of the 3D Sonic games, I feel like Sonic Adventure had some really good songs in it, but other than that, I can't really think of that many Sonic games that have had amazing music that I just love to hum to and stuff. This game, not all the levels, but some of the levels, I'm really enjoying. They kind of got like a slightly more jazzy, chilled out vibe to some of them, and some of the levels I was genuinely humming along as I was playing them. I was like, oh my god, this is actually really fun. I actually love the way Sonic controls. It's a bit of a love and hate, actually, because Sonic is a lot slower in this game compared to other games. Like earlier, Scotty, you mentioned that Sonic the Hedgehog 1 was the slowest Sonic game. This could be one of the slowest Sonic games, actually. Or maybe Sonic 3D on the Mega Drive, actually, or Genesis, because that was actually quite a slow Sonic game as well. But yes, if anyone who doesn't know hasn't played Sonic Lost World, Sonic, if you just move normally, he does kind of do a little jog, but not very fast. You have to hold down the R trigger, and then he speeds up. But he also does like a sort of parkour move, like climbing over bits and stuff. But even at his full speed, he's not super fast until he hits like a speed boost. Then he'll start to go really fast. But I've just found the game a lot easier to control, because so many modern Sonic games, like Sonic Forces, pushes you so fast, it's almost impossible to control, to the point that Sonic Forces, the game takes control at certain points to guide you around corners, so you're not even playing the game anymore. And that just drove me nuts. But Sonic Lost World, you've got complete control, and we kind of compared it to Galaxy, and people compared it to Galaxy because some of the levels actually have this sort of almost planet style effect, running around like orbs in the sky. And this game's got a lot of I guess cylinder style levels where you can actually run around the whole cylinder of the level, like platform. And I'm loving that, because that actually opens up lots of secret and extra paths in the game, in the levels. Because like there's one route I kept dying on. It's like literally the route in front of me, I kept running forward and I kept dying a few times. And I thought, once if I go the other way, I just walked around the other side of the thing, and the whole world like looped around. And there's a completely different path there. And I was like, well, brilliant. Yeah. And it was so much easier. And yeah, I love the ice levels are really fun. Like Sonic actually skates along and stuff. The desert levels are really cool. I haven't finished the game yet, but I've got really far. I'm quite late into it. It's not as big or as long as, say, Galaxy, for example, or some of the other 3D Sonic games. But I'm just finding it very entertaining. I'm not going to say it's the best Sonic game ever either, but I really like it. I just think it's a very solid game. It's not glitchy. I haven't had any glitchy problems. Controls are brilliant. It feels Mario's Galaxy-esque in certain areas, but I feel it holds up. It's different enough in gameplay style that it holds up on its own in a way. Also, it's got almost like virtually no hand-holding in this game at all. Like there's no force tips and help things. You know, like other Sonic games or even Mario games, you'll start the game and go, hey, press forward to run, press A to jump. This has none of that. Like there's controls I didn't even know how to do in this game until the 5th boss, I think it was. I was on. There's like you can do this jump attack, and then you press another button to do a kind of kick on enemies, because certain enemies can't be harmed by the homing attack, the normal double jump. You have to press a different button instead. He does this kind of cool kick thing, and then you can do the homing attack on the enemy. I just didn't know that was a thing, and then I randomly worked it out by mistake. And I kind of liked that because I felt like, oh my God, I've achieved something in this game. One thing I will say, I like the wisps used in Sonic Colors, but in Sonic Lost World, the wisps are just kind of pointless almost. They're so short-lived. Like, you press it and 2 seconds later, the wisp power is dead. It's over. It's kind of like, I don't really get the point of that.
I was over the wisps as soon as they introduced them.
Oh, really? Okay. I quite enjoyed them in Sonic Colors. But yeah, in this, I'm just like, I feel like this game doesn't need them. Yeah, and the story I think is solid enough. It's quite an interesting story, but it's definitely aimed at kids, so it's very light-hearted. Some of the jokes are very aimed at kids. Simple enough story, but yeah, I'm enjoying the bad guys and everything. So I am going to stand up and say I like this game. I think it's a solid game. It's fun. I feel maybe it had poor time. If this came out before Galaxy, I think it could have done better, but obviously it didn't. So it came out a few years after Galaxy. So that is my pick of the week. Sonic Lost World. It's on Steam. It's not too. I think it's £20. It's not super cheap. At the same time, it's not a £50 game, which some games are.
Do you have a particularly high-end PC?
My PC's pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Scotty and we covered Lost World on the Sega Addicts podcast years ago, and the one thing that I noticed, because I still have the same computer from then, it was my computer's built 50% nice parts, 50% garbage.
Right.
That literally. And even though it was higher end, like I had some heat distribution problems and only like 8 gigs of memory at the time, and there are certain segments that would slow down. And it was a persistent issue when it re-released on Lost World on Steam back then.
Right.
So it is one of those ones that when you have a nice PC, it actually runs really well. If you have anything that has any kind of compromised issues on your PC or is just lower end in general, it will run really slowly.
Okay.
So that's the only caveat. I remember liking it decently enough. I had issues about the camera placement, but other than that,
see, I feel like the camera placement in this game is better than Mario Galaxy's. That's one thing that's actually given me a bugbear of Galaxy. So Galaxy, I think, has got a fine camera angle, but there's been certain elements, certain parts where the camera's suddenly gone behind stuff, or I'm upside down and the camera's actually in a weird angle. I can't seem to run in the right direction anymore. So yeah, I found Galaxy had some weird camera issues for me. So this, I found I haven't had a problem with it. I'm actually, but.
And what I remember was that I felt like the camera was too far back because a lot of the screen I felt got wasted. But considering how much you are rotating to the other side of the cylinder, I didn't do that when I played through it. So I think maybe like it's there to encourage you to explore the other side, because I remember thinking there's a lot of blue space that's just being wasted by the skybox. And I thought it would be,
So yeah, that's actually a good point, because and that's all goes the multiple path things I was talking about. I actually noticed some multiple paths just by looking at the skybox. Stuff that seems to be in the background actually is sometimes part of the level. Like you don't necessarily realize it. You can sometimes see like some rails in the background. You think, oh, what's over there? But you probably think, oh, it's just the background. Actually, some of them is actually stuff you can get to if you go a certain way. You'll then go on a springboard, which will take you to that part of the level. So again, that's one of the things I loved about it, like finding out all these different routes on some of the levels. I was like, Jesus, this is really clever. Like the way the levels have connected in different platforming areas and stuff. And there's some bits where they will send you off from like a spring into a cannon and stuff, and the game will sort of take over and it'll bounce you around all over the place. And you don't really know where it's taking you in the level. But another one, on one of the levels, I repeated that bit, but I went a different route and it sent me in a different cannon and I ended up somewhere completely differently. So I was like, oh, so there is actually a logic in this game. Like you can go completely different routes. So yeah, that could be why then. So yeah, if that was the complaint about the camera angle, I think that's why really. It tries to encourage you to explore and look around, see what you can go to.
And it's probably also that far out with that extra skybox space, like you said, Nick, just because it's more targeted at kids. So to really throw it in their face, like, look how big this area is. You can maybe go over here. You should, make it super obvious, maybe. And
even though it's weirdly targeted to kids, I found this game harder than some of the other Sonic games, and it's definitely harder than Mario Galaxy. As I sort of mentioned before, in Mario Galaxy, I was
no challenge.
I was just racking up the lives in Galaxy. On Sonic Lost World, I think the first 2 levels, I was racking up the lives. I got up to like 20 lives and stuff. I was like, I do really well. I've had 3 game overs now, though. I've lost all those lives several times now. And when you get a game over, you start with 9 lives, so you're not sure on lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've there's just bits I've just screwed up loads of times. Some of it's me trying to do things like I'd see like you get those like red coin token things which you meant to get 5 on each level. I've seen one. I'm like, I can get that. Dead. Go back. Dead. So I've lost lives stupidly by trying my luck, and in the end I've had to just carry on going. And even though I did say earlier about my Surface Book being a bit disappointed with it and stuff, it does actually run okay on the Surface Book. So like it runs like perfectly on the Surface Book. Actually, there's no slowdown or anything, so it's fine for that.
Can it not run Sonic Lost World?
Exactly, that is it. But yeah, if you haven't, I'm just saying to everybody, if you haven't played it, I'm not going to say it's the best Sonic game or it's better than Mario Galaxy. That's up to you. I think give it a try. I think it's got a lot of bad press for no reason. Like it's not like Sonic 06, which was glitchy, or I don't know, other Sonic games which just had terrible problems with them.
Talking about 06 for ages.
Two quick things about Sonic Lost World. Doesn't the 3DS version, is it severely different, or am I thinking just the bonus levels that are severely different?
So it is quite the general level progression is very similar, but the actual levels are a bit different. So this is actually says it's the first 3D Sonic game on the 3DS or like on the handheld, because it does actually have some of the 3D levels, but I do feel it had more 2D levels in this game than the Wii U version, and especially the ice levels seem different from memory, because I can really remember the ice levels on this one, and they're very different to the Wii U version. So yeah, I can't remember everything in it, but from memory, it's different.
No, I only bring that up because since you mentioned it, just in case people are like, what's the cheapest? Or I really like handheld stuff. Maybe I'll have the handheld version of that. I cannot ever tell anyone that the bonus levels in that game are fun. Fuck those.
What are the bonus levels, actually? I think I just do them.
You had to like move your DS around because it was tagged to the gyroscope, and I'm just like, I'm literally upside down in my recliner trying to get through this stupid part because I can't turn that off and turn it whatever way.
Okay, I haven't...
different Sonic game. I fucking hated those. I'm gonna have to look at
I haven't done a bonus level then. What do you do in the bonus levels? Clearly, I haven't been good enough to unlock them.
Just around like a jackass. Maybe I'm thinking of something else because it's not showing them in here. Probably not even worth looking at. But I just remember hating the Sonic game's bonus levels a lot.
Are you saying it was a 3DS version that had the bad bonus levels?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't remember doing any bonus levels in this or the Wii U version, the Steam version.
Maybe I'm entirely wrong. I don't know.
I could be wrong because I'm not the best Sonic player, but yeah.
I don't know that either.
God damn it. All right, I'm going to type in bonus level Sonic Lost World. Yep, I typed in 3D2 somehow.
Nice.
Let me look at one here. Maybe I'm thinking of something totally different. We'll cut this out. We'll edit this shit.
Yeah, we'll edit this bit.
What the fuck? I don't remember this at all. Okay, it might be totally different, but it doesn't look like it's fun. It doesn't matter that much. So maybe play the game still? Oh, you guys are frozen from me. No, you're not frozen. You're
we're just looking.
Just looking, yeah. I was trying to see.
Let me just type in gyroscope after that.
I just did a Google for the Wii U version, and there is a bonus DLC pack which has like a Knights level and stuff, which I did unlock the Knights level after doing something. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's actually a level based on Knights. And you basically go through and fight some of the Knights bosses, but with the Deadly Six. So the Deadly Six are the main bad guys in Lost World, and they're kind of controlling the Knights bosses, and I thought that was a really cool little thing to have in the game.
It is this one. Don't do it. Fuck it. I looked it up.
So what are the bonus levels? Nice. What do you do with them?
It's behind the view of Sonic, and they almost sometimes look reminiscent of Knights because you're following these orbs and stuff, but you have to steer him through rings of things and just paths and stuff, and you literally use the 3DS to steer Sonic as he's flying around in midair.
I do not remember that.
Bad, and I hate it.
Oh my god.
Do you hate it? Do you hate it more because it's aping Knights, a game that you love, and it's doing it poorly?
Anything that makes you move your crap. Yeah. Because also on a handheld, I have to like change my perspective. Never mind putting the 3D on for this game while you're trying to do that for the 3DS. If you guys remember that, cool idea, but poorly implemented. Like the fact that you have to turn the screen and like shift yourself, because how am I going to look at the screen when I've got this turned like almost 90 degrees away from me?
Yeah.
But hey, just play the Wii U or PC version. Graham's blown away right now. He somehow got through the game apparently without touching the bonus levels.
Yeah, how did I do that? Like, what?
Pulling a Graham.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm now trying to look up if the Wii U version's got some, but I can't seem to find any information. So
sorry, I didn't mean to totally derail this.
That's fine. Don't worry. I'm interested now. I'm going to have to do some more Googling. But yeah, so far in the Wii U version, I haven't had any bonus levels other than the Knight's unlockable one, which didn't seem like a normal bonus stage that Sonic would normally have. Just seemed like it's just a fun little extra treat thing, basically. But yeah, anyway, let's put that to bed if there's no more questions on that. So, Scotty, what is your pick of the week?
I watched Gemini Man, starring Will Smith and Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
And Will Smith.
And Will Smith also, again.
Yeah.
I like Will Smith's probably one of my favorite actors, but I saw a trailer. I remember seeing a trailer for this in the theaters and just thinking like, oh, whatever. It's another, they made it a CG himself or whatever. But then someone else said, dude, if you want to see the best like example of essentially cloning someone in a movie as they are acting or whatever, like
deep faking, yeah.
So, and I checked it out. I was actually watching it in half-hour increments on my lunch break during the week, which I don't recommend doing for an action movie. But it looks phenomenal. It blew my mind how good the other Will Smith looks. Oh, I guess I should explain the plot. It's almost Enemy of the State again, and so Will Smith is running away from someone trying to kill him, and it's actually a clone of himself, but not just a clone, but a younger version of himself. And the trailer does not do it justice, because you don't see how much they're moving around and interacting with each other, and they still are able to... It doesn't look... Graham, you mentioned some parts do look noodly, which there are some parts that they do, but man, this like puts the Star Wars movies to fucking shame.
Yeah.
What I'm always going to compare them to, because the Star Wars movies, when they had I don't remember his name, but like the hologram or whatever render of people that had passed on.
Tarkin.
They were
Grand Moff Tarkin,
yeah, they were too shiny and did not look human.
And
but this looks phenomenal because it is Will Smith fighting himself, but there are conversations, and I think what also lends to it is like Will Smith is a young actor, so you can think of like his days in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and you think about that and you look at that and you're like, holy shit, that looks like how he looked when he was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah.
Do you know anything about the production of it? Because my thought process would be that they would go with deep faking and just get a facially similar actor to Will Smith, and then
I do actually know the answer to that. It was complete CGI apparently.
Wow.
There was an interview of Will Smith, and they said they didn't use a body double and then put CGI over him. It was complete CGI with this one, which blew my mind, because when I saw the movie I was like, oh my god, just like you, Scotty. Yeah.
It's really good. Like, it's not like mocap. I don't even know. It's hard to explain why it looks so good, but I think it's an amalgamation of like, I like Will Smith, so I've seen plenty of his stuff, but I've seen like bad versions of them trying to pull this off, and then also I've played games like David Cage games where the humans look like humans more so than most AAA shit, because whatever, David Cage aside, those games always look good and raise the bar a little bit for how people in games should look. And so just all of that together was just like, I cannot believe how long they're holding the camera on this fake Will Smith right now, and it still looks decent. Because there are some scenes where like his lips don't move exactly how a human would and things like that. I think you mentioned that, Graham, and I mentioned it in our side chat about stuff, but it blows my mind. And it's a decent action flick, and the unnecessary motorcycle fight is great.
So good, yeah.
It's just it doesn't need to happen, but it's fun. And I enjoy the canon world that I created for Mary Elizabeth Winstead, because she, for those who don't know, she was Ramona in Scott Pilgrim. She was in Live Free or Die Hard as Bruce Willis's daughter, Lucy McLean, and now she's in this. Right. Exactly. And I only remember that because we watched it recently. But so in my head, she is Lucy McLean throughout all of this. Like, she is Bruce Willis's daughter, and because in Scott Pilgrim, she comes from New York to Canada. That's where McLeans are from, is New York. Oh, and so she goes up to Canada, hangs out with Scott Pilgrim, and is like, I don't need this bullshit. Goes back to New York, finishes school, which she's in school and Live Free or Die Hard, and Justin Long is like her crush or whatever, and she gets kidnapped. John McClane's daughter and Die Hard and action star. But so she's a badass because she's Bruce Willis, John McClane's daughter. And then she survives that experience, realizes, like, I can do some good like my dad, and I have the adrenaline for violence or whatever. And so in this movie with Will Smith, she's an undercover agent for the government and other stuff. So it's like, in my mind, this is one character throughout these three movies, and she's badass all of a sudden because she was essentially a female Die Hard. So that's the fun I had with this thing, because it clicked in my head. Like, I mean, I knew who she was, but then with her role, I was like, God, it's like she literally just was actually John McClane's daughter and went into some sort of line of government work. Like,
for John McClane's son did.
Yeah. Oh God. That Die Hard 5 in my headspace is like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles third movie. I just pretend it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I did not like it, but
in the UK, it wasn't called Die Hard 4. Wasn't called Live Free or Die Hard. It's just called Die Hard 4.0.
Because I feel like a bunch.
Oh yeah.
It was playing on Channel 4 when I last visited the UK, and it was playing like on repeat. It was like Die Hard 4.0, and I was like, I don't remember it being called that. And then it would play some other movie, and then it would be back to Die Hard 4.0.
Yeah, it would.
Like, man, you guys really like this movie?
So when you said Live Free or Die Hard, I thought that was the fifth one for some reason. So when you started saying about Justin Long, I was like, is it the fifth? I haven't seen the fifth one, but I love Die Hard 4. I thought it was so good. But
it's actually pretty decent for considering that it was out like 15 or 20 years after Die Hard 3 or something. I forget. Yeah. But overall, this is a good action flick. Gemini Man. Yeah, we are still talking about Will Smith. It's good. Without any spoilers, I'll say the ending I thought was a little weird. And I recommend it as a Will Smith, as an action fan, and it's just to see how far stuff like that has come for recreating humans in movies.
And the one of the bits that I thought was really noodly, as we all put it, in the CGI, was actually one of the very last scenes in the whole movie.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I was like, because like there's as you say, there's a couple of bits. I was like, especially one of the first bits when they first face to face up close, and as you say, they're kind of holding the camera on both of them. And it's kind of a bit of an action scene. The visuals there were just like spot on. It's like, this is, as you say, this is Will Smith. And then in like the last scene, it's like, that's clearly a CGI guy right there. But for most of the movie, it is just like, this is Will Smith and Will Smith. Like, you know, there's two actors on the screen right now. It's so well done. I bet in like 10 years they'll be like, look at this, look at these visuals.
Oh, sure.
Like, always happens. But
I don't want to hype it up a lot, but there were, I mean, and I'm pretty critical of movies and things like this, because you go back, and I like B movies and stuff, but if you go back even to stuff that was AAA or whatever, big blockbusters, some of the CG stuff was like, man, that creature, that monster, that person is just so shiny. You can tell that's just a computer generated whatever. But there were parts of this where I was like staring at the young Will Smith, and I wasn't even listening to what they were saying. That I had to like rewind and listen to the conversations again because I was just like, I can't believe, like, I think that's him. That is really him. Man, look at those lips. You know,
reached back in time and pulled young Will Smith.
Yeah, right. I bet that's what's going to come out eventually. That the production studio found a time machine. They actually went back and said, "Will, come along, let's do this."
I would be surprised if, knowing the dumb human race, like, we discover time travel, but we use it for movies. Nothing good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we need some good period pieces. Let's go back in time, guys. Let's film like 1800s London.
Yeah. Have you seen that yet, Nick? Gemini Man?
No, but you've hyped me up because I saw it and I think I have access to see it, and I've never been like, I really want to see it.
What did I watched it on Amazon Prime. Yeah, it's on
okay. There. Yeah. Because I was just like, I'm kind of interested, but not enough to sit down and really watch it.
The story,
especially,
but the visuals are what sold it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Especially because, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just going to say, if you just enjoy a fun action movie, that's kind of what. It's not going to change your life or anything other than the visuals, but yeah, it's just a solid action movie. So yeah, just turn it on and strap in.
Yeah, no. The only thing that shied me away from it, because I was like, do I really want to see a movie where Will Smith fights Will Smith? But I mean, you're selling me on it, and so I think I probably will.
Very cool.
Brilliant. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Hey, we sold someone. Excellent. You're doing a good job this week, Scotty. You're selling people on different things. So.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you want to go the extreme crazy Scotty route, watch Scott Pilgrim and then Live Free or Die Hard and then Gemini Man.
I could see Live Free or Die Hard a fourth time this year.
Oh, please do.
Or something.
Wow. Okay. So I guess that'll put our picks of the week to bed. And yeah, good stuff. Good, very good picks. If anyone's interested in them, play them, watch them. Let us know. Let us know how it is for you. Obviously, everyone's going to hate Sonic Lost World, but I think it's worth it. Just try. Don't worry about it, guys. It's fine. We're all in lockdown. We're all in this together. Don't worry.
See ya.